What is global warming? We call global warming the temperature that goes increasing from decade to decade in Earth. The result of global warming is provoking a series of changes in Earth climate. Meteorological patterns long-term change from a place to another. Energy is one of the main changes of global warming. It takes 73.2% of the gases that provoke the greenhouse effect. Agriculture, as much as the space used in agriculture, is one of the 18.4% of gases that provoke the greenhouse effect. Industries also take a 5.2% of gases that provoke the greenhouse effect. The chemicals used in industry, or the gases they provoke, are the ones that also affect the CO2. What is the greenhouse effect? The greenhouse effect is the heat that some gases create, which stays on Earth because of the atmosphere, which lets the light in, but the heat also that goes inside the atmosphere, but the heat stays on Earth because of the atmosphere, just like a greenhouse. What causes greenhouse effect? One of the causes of the on-demand. Why, you may ask yourself? Well, there's quite a simple answer. The on-demand is so high that affects all the gases generators. One of the most important, which are cows, that, as all of us know, this individual creates a gas called methane, which is really rough for our atmosphere, which of who is one of the principal causes of the greenhouse effect. Another thing that goes on with the cows is that they really occupy a lot of our own lands. And also another thing we have to do is keep them with space and also feed them. And we also use an enormous quantity of water, which is used to keep them hydrated. Another problem is that instead of us eating the vegetables, we create the vegetables and we give it to the cows, which also require more. And you may think, why does that generate gas? Well, another thing that creates a lot of gases are pesticides. The increase of greenhouse gases. The level of greenhouse gases has gone increasing and lowering from Earth history, but they have been quite constant in the last thousands of years. Global mean temperatures have remained fairly constant during this period as well until recently. Through the burning of fossil fuels and other GHG emissions, humans are increasing the greenhouse effect and warming the Earth. The most common fuels used by humans are fossil fuels, be it oil for cars or gas for oils. Fossil fuels generate a large amount of CO2. Another problem is the energy used in our buildings. Basic way to solve this problem would be to create appliances that use less energy. But when people find out about it, they use it more because it uses less energy, which would end up equaling the amount of energy used before. Another very important problem is the concentration of people in the same place. Since humans normally generate gases, and that same heat ends up contributing to the greenhouse effect. The simplest way to solve this problem is to distribute the populations in different cities instead of concentrating all in one. Also, at the same time, if we distribute the locations of the companies, people would be forced to go to a closer place, making the air much more cleaner, and being more distributed would improve all the oxygen. This would work because as less people there in the world, together less heat there is, and if there's less heat, it would be a lot harder to heat the Earth. The closest solution we have to reduce that number from 73.2 to a future 0% is not within our current reach, being that the only current way to reduce expenses until it gives us enough time to carry our future projects, such as the distribution of the cities or lowering the cost of electric cars, would be to use renewable energy, such as wind energy or hydraulic energy, which would help us lower the percentage of energy and give us enough time to carry on with our projects. But we're not all human beings able to find solar panels or to use hydraulic energy. So this part, that is the bigger image, would have to be made by bigger persons, like people with a big company, because they have enough money to get the energy from there. Also, we're not the ones that control where the energy comes from, so we can't expect too much from us. But here's a solution that we can do from our houses, which won't take the 73.2%, but will make it such a big difference that will give us also enough time to make those future projects. But before I tell you that, there's one massive thing that we cannot do. Us human beings, while being on Earth, will always generate gases. But the thing here is that we provoke more than we need. Factories create a lot more of gases than they should do. But you know why is that? Because there's on demand. Without demand, they wouldn't have to make so much. And also, we're not the only ones in control. There are other bigger people that can also control where the gases come from. But moving on from that, there's a thing we can do. With regard to livestock, the best we can do is reduce the excess of demand for meat. And if we all did not eat meat for only one day a week, the demand would decrease enormously, and we would do a great favor to the world. And that means also to us. On top of that, our body would appreciate it. It should be emphasized that only with that we can all make a big difference. Our generation has the advantage of technology. We should use that to spread information. And also, even though we're really young, we can still do a lot of things. Even if it's not a big thing, everything we do matters. And that's exactly what we want to do with our ONG. We want to spread information, make people stay conscious, try new things, and propose new things to help the planet, lead projects, and most importantly, we have to help our beautiful planet.